Hey everyone, I
I
hope
hope
you
you
are
are
paying attention to the news in Final Cut Pro land. Final Cut Pro 10.4.4 has been released. Final Cut Pro 10.4.4 has been released. I'm sure you all know about it by now. If you don't know about it, Apple has done what they did 2 years ago. They released Final Cut Pro 10.4 a day before the start of the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. So you go to the Apple Store, obviously, and you can update it from there. Some of the main features: workflow extensions. Third-party apps can now access the Final Cut Pro timeline and the Final Cut Pro. It interacts with Final Cut Pro. Let me just check one thing to make sure. Let me see something here. There we are, yes. So can everybody hear me? That's what I want to make sure. Of course, I have no way of knowing if you can. I don't think you can hear me. Okay. Turn my mic back on. So
Final
Final
Cut
Cut
Pro
Pro 10.4.4 has been released the day before the start of the official start of the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit.
Oh, you
Oh, you
can hear
can hear
me?
me?
Great.
Great.
All right,
All
I'm
right,
going
I'm
to
going
turn
to
the
turn the
other
other
mic
mic
off
off
then.
then.
I
I
don't
don't
want
want
two.
two mics going off. Now, so what I'm doing is I'm talking through a lapel mic, which is different. The echo should be gone now, right? Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everybody. So what I'm doing is I'm talking through a lapel mic hooked up to my one camera, but I want to just show you the basics of, I'm sure you've all been there, of the updates for the Final Cut Pro 10.4.4. So workflow extensions. Extend the capabilities of Final Cut Pro with third-party extensions that open directly within the app interface. This is a first for Apple, isn't it? Apple hasn't done that very often. There's been a couple of exceptions. Batch sharing. You can not only batch share clips, you can batch share ranges of clips, and you can do that from the browser. You can select a range and select those ranges and just export those ranges. So they've added a video noise reduction plugin. People have been asking for that. They like the way that Neat Video works, but it takes a long, long time to render. There's a new time code window. There's been a plugin for that for a while, but now we have one built into Final Cut Pro, and it'll show you either the project time code or the clip time code, which is nice. I'm not sure why you want the project time code when you already have that under the viewer window. And we now have a comparison viewer. You can compare shots side by side, which makes it nice. Tiny planet, you can have, if you're doing 360 video, you can create a tiny planet effect. Another big feature is you can view, edit, and deliver closed captions in the SRT format. You can also burn captions into the clip when you export it now. So what do you guys think? Nobody was sure if there was going to be an update to Final Cut Pro, whether it was going to be 10.4.4 or whether it was going to be 10.5. This is a lot of updates in this one for just a point update, not a full update from 10.4 to 10.5. Very interesting, though, some of the things that they've done. Let me check the YouTube comments real quick. If anybody's watching on Facebook groups, I can't monitor 10 Facebook groups at one time. So, and I can't monitor from Twitter either. So if you want to make a comment, jump over to the YouTube page and you can make comments there. That's the single place I'm going to be answering any comments that I can. Let me pull that up here real quick. So Gert says, I'm happy with this update. He says, comparison viewer is fantastic. Rob Fisher, it's going to be interesting who and what we will see as workflow extensions. It most certainly will. That opens up a whole new world of Final Cut that wasn't available prior, obviously. Everybody likes different things about the update. Rob Mills says, Frame.io update is brilliant. Batch sharing is a dream come true, says Rob Fisher. Didn't expect to see this. It's not bad for a 0.4 update, right? What do you guys think? Instead of a full update. I think it's pretty good. We're going to see a presentation from Apple most likely tomorrow from the Final Cut Pro team over at Apple HQ after we go to the spaceship campus. And we'll get some more insights, maybe some things they haven't announced yet. Don't know for sure. But this is the same thing they did 3 years ago. They introduced Final Cut Pro the day before the Final Cut Pro Summit, but still linked to the Final Cut Pro Summit. These three major updates have been linked to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. So that what the issue is for the people that are presenting tomorrow is they're going to have to update. If they have anything related to Final Cut Pro 10.4.4, they're going to have to update their presentation tomorrow. I mean, who wants to see 10.4.3? That's old hat at this point. When did that come out? In April? I think it came out in April, right? Excuse me while I had to just go back and forth a little bit. So Gert says, would that mean they can move software like Cinema Grade inside Final Cut Pro 10? It's certainly a possibility, I would think. I think these apps can actually control the Final Cut Pro timeline now. Rob Mills says it's a big update for a point update. And Gert says, yes, he checked the date. April was the last update. So April was the last update. And that means that it's been how many months? 6 months now, something like that, since we had a new feature update. So here's the interesting thing from my point of view. Oh, there we go. I'm in my hotel at the Juniper Hotel. That's where this is broadcast from. I'm not going to be doing a long broadcast. Now, there's 4 places that you can go online right now. Of course, Ripple Training has all the videos out, going through details on the 10.4.4 update. Patrick Southern from LumaForge has a video out. Richie, the guy from iMore, has one out. And FCP.co has an article with some of the information about the update. I've tweeted the release notes on Twitter, the link there to read the updates yourself. But anyway, it's going to be interesting in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's a big day for me. Okay, going to see Apple, going to talk to the team, look at their presentations, what they're going to show us. Maybe they'll show us a few tips and tricks on the 10.4.4 update. But here's the interesting thing to me. If this is a 10.4.4 update, what's that say about 10.5 when it comes? It just makes sense that 10.5 is going to be a lot bigger than this update is. And 10.5 could come, I'm sure it's going to come in 2019. Maybe it'll come in time for NAB next year, April next year. Maybe it'll be announced when they announce the new Mac Pros, whenever that is. We don't know. Don't know. But the fact that this one has so many new features, this is a pretty good sized update, that bears well for 10.5 being an even bigger update. It can't be the same. Wouldn't make any sense for 10.5 to be the same kind of an update as 10.4.4. So that's one way to look at it. I'm going to be doing some live streaming. I'm going to probably do another live stream tonight, perhaps, depending on how things go. I'm going to grab some people that are filtering in here at the Juniper Hotel in California. And we'll put them on camera. We'll also do a Google Hangout where I can get some of you guys to come on if you want to. That'll work. We're going to go out to dinner at some point later. I'm still on East Coast time. So to me, I don't have my Apple Watch. What time is it? It's 3 o'clock here on Pacific. So to me, it's like 6 o'clock. So when I left the East Coast, Baltimore, BWI, it was cold in the 30s, but it was fine. But when I landed in Cupertino, California, we had like 6 inches of snow out there on the East Coast. All the schools were shut down. There was a traffic mess, of course. This is the first snow of the season. That always is interesting, isn't it? Let me check on your comments again. So Rob Fisher says, like the update so far, especially with the new features. He says, it'll be interesting if there are only new features of real bug fixes as well. I expect them to have bug fixes as well. Wouldn't make a whole lot of sense just to have features and not fix the bugs. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense now, would it? So let's see what else we have. Oh yeah, compressor is now 64-bit. 64-bit, but it also opens up 32-bit compressor jobs as well. So compressor is finally 64-bit after all this time. So Gert says tomorrow 10.5. I doubt that. I think this is the update for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. What do you guys think? I think this is the one. I really do. How is the air? So the air coming from the East Coast, which we have pretty good air where I live. I live actually in the country. I don't live actually in Baltimore City. I live outside, west and north of Baltimore. The air is really great out there. So when I got to San Francisco, the airport, I can see a haze, and I can see a little bit of a haze out here in Cupertino as well. You can also smell a little bit of the fire smoke, but it's not overwhelming by any stretch of the imagination. I brought masks, as a matter of fact, because they recommended bringing masks, so I actually brought masks, the N95 masks, just in case I needed them. But very few people are wearing masks. So is it bad? It's not great, but it's just like a little bit of a haze. I can see the blue sky right now. But when you walk, it's not at ground level. More when you look up, you can see a little bit of a slight haziness. You can smell a little bit, but it's not bad at all. You can go outside. Of course, if you have any kind of asthma or anything, stay inside as much as possible. I'm not going to go running. Usually I go running in the morning. I'm not going to be doing that with this fire hazard. I'll just go down to they have a 24-hour gym here at the Juniper Hotel. So that works pretty darn well. So what else do we have? Rob Mills says it's 11 o'clock in the UK. That's late. I'm trying to download 10.4.4 right now on Hollywood Wi-Fi. It's not doing such a great job. I mean, it's stops and starts. So the other big thing is motion. Rob Mills says motion got the Final Cut Pro color correction tools, the wheels and the curves and things. I don't do much color correction anyway, but I'm certainly not going to do it in motion. So for those that use motion, that's fantastic, but it's not going to really benefit anything I'm going to be doing. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll get into motion a little bit more. I love the keyframe editor in motion. I wish Final Cut Pro had one that was maybe between what they have now and motions. To you motion geeks out there, what do you guys think about that keyframe editor? I've heard mixed stories about that. So Gert says he has to check compressor, but his quick test looks like speed has been improved dramatically. So overall, what do you guys think about the update 10.4.4? Do you think you like the features? I know there's always a list of things that wasn't done. I mean, we all wanted a proxy workflow. We wanted some collaboration. The last Final Cut Pro Radio TV live thing that we did in Final Cut Pro Radio, we talked about proxy workflow and collaboration. But see, this leaves room for 10.5 to have these things. I mean, I'm pretty sure 10.5 will be out in 2019. I'm pretty sure that'll happen. NAB is a good bet for that. But it also could come out with the Mac Pro. I'm hoping we see a preview of a Mac Pro tomorrow, or a prototype. I don't care if they put it inside of a glass cube. I just want to see what the form factor is. Is it going to follow something along the line of the Mac Mini? Don't know. Don't know. So like I said, I'm going to be popping in, doing these live events, these live streams. I'm going to try to do one more tonight when some people, because everybody's not here yet. I'm here because I already had 2 flights I could take direct. I had to come either in the morning or the night, and I didn't want to come at night because I'd be too tired. Tomorrow, we're leaving here at 8 o'clock in the morning to going to a supper club, country club. It's not a supper club. To the country club to see, the whole morning is presentations from some of the exhibitors. LumaForge will be presenting, perhaps with some new things. Lumberjack System is also a platinum sponsor this year, which is really good. See Philip and Greg and Serena, they'll all be there. I saw Patrick today over at the store. I had this giant 24-pack of bottled water, and I'm thinking, how am I going to carry this across the street? Well, I did. Patrick helped me with my other things that I had, some half and half and some late night snack stuff. But I got it over here. Everything's working well. I had my first cup of coffee, which is imperative. It's imperative. I bring my own coffee making setup with me. I have a pour over kettle, stainless steel pour over kettle, and I have a coffee making setup, and I grind my own coffee before I go and bring it here. So I have it in the room when I want it, in the morning when I wake up, and I don't have to worry about walking across the street to get good coffee. They have a Pete's over there, and they have a Starbucks right across the street, which is great. So has anybody bought a Mac Mini yet? Has anybody got one of those? I know that Brad Olson has one. I'm supposed to have dinner with Brad tonight and a couple of other people. If you're in Cupertino for this event, just post on one of the Facebook groups, Final Cut Pro Radio, or make a comment. Send me a direct message if you can. So what do you guys think? Are we going to see anything about the Mac Pro this weekend? It wouldn't surprise me. I'd really like to see what the form factor is. I'm in the market for a new Mac. I have a 2017 iMac, and the number one thing that I don't like about it is it only has 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. And I have 3 Thunderbolt 3 things that I need. I have an audio interface that's Thunderbolt 3, and I have a RAID that's Thunderbolt 2 that I have an adapter on, and then I have my USB hub. So I'm constantly plugging and unplugging on that. I'm going to get a new Mac that has 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports just because of that feature. So whether it's an iMac Pro, it's not going to be a Mac Mini. I want something more than that. I'm waiting for the Mac Pro before I make my mind up. Or it could be a 2018, 2019 iMac. That also could have switch over to 4 ports. So, but I'll be reporting all weekend long. I'll jump on and off here on YouTube several times tomorrow before we get to Apple Campus. I can't do it from Apple Campus, I don't think. Apple doesn't allow that. But who knows? Maybe they will. I mean, the fact that it's already been announced today, they might let me live stream. I'll see what happens. It depends on what the morning sessions are over at the Supper Club, the FCPX Creative Summit morning sessions are. Sometimes they're not lit very well, and people's faces are in shadows and stuff, and so it's not really conducive to do a videotaping or live stream. I actually videotaped some of it last year. It was in a movie theater in a mall, and it wasn't, it wasn't set up for live video production. It was set up just for the audience that was there. But from what I understand, we have another 150 people or so that are here this weekend for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. I do want to thank LumaForge. I want to thank Lumberjack Systems, the Platinum sponsors, all the other sponsors. I want to thank Future Media Concepts for continually putting this on. And Apple is involved in this at some level as well. So we want to thank these people so we keep doing these events, because this event was certainly the impetus for releasing Final Cut Pro 10.4.4 today. What do y'all think? So Rob Fisher says he completely understands this port issue. They released a new MacBook Pro, right? The one with the bigger graphics card today? That's the one I understand. Rob Mills says, I'm impressed. I think Proxy will come in 10.5 plus collaboration. Maybe we may see collaboration in an extension app. That'll be interesting how that's going to work out. So Rob Mills says, can you talk to the Final Cut Pro Summit people and ask them to stream the talks? That's not going to happen. The idea is this is a special live event that's only for the attendees, people who pay to come here. It's not for, they're not going to stream it. They're not recorded. I will be going around a little bit. Maybe I'll pop into some of the things with a live stream for like 5 minutes or so you can see what's going on. I'm certainly going to be talking to other Final Cut Pro people that are here. Let you talk to them. We'll interview a couple of them. Let's see, get their ideas. Steve Martin here. Mark Spencer's here. Philip Hodges is here. Greg Clark, Serena Catania, Patrick Southern, Sam Messman, both from LumaForge. Lots of other people. There's a Bill Davis from DC, not my friend Bill Davis, but another Bill Davis from DC who's here. There's a bunch of other presenters. Of course, Jeff Greenberg. Jeff Greenberg and I had lunch today for about 2 hours. We talked about all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. It's stuff I can't talk about because it was, people talk to me, and if they don't want me to talk about it on the radio show or these live streams, they say, this is off the record. I 100% respect that. I would never reveal something that somebody revealed to me in confidence, as I'm sure you understand. So Rob Fisher says, I really am thankful for this event. I'm looking forward to come again. So very interesting to chat with all the people. It is, especially in the mornings. Now, the interesting thing is tomorrow morning is 8 o'clock. We're leaving here at 8 o'clock to get to the Supper Club, probably 2 shuttle buses. 8 o'clock's early for a lot of people. I'm an early riser. I get up at 4:30 every morning. I feed my cats. I make coffee, get on the internet, check a few things, and then I'm out the door running for a couple. I go running for a couple of miles. So I'm up early anyway. 8 o'clock is early for a lot of people. So people will probably be gathering about 7:30 or so. I might drop down there about 7 o'clock to see who shows up. If we get a couple people want to talk, like I said, I'm going to do a bunch of these this weekend. Some of them may last 10 minutes. Some may 15 minutes. Some may be 5 minutes just to pop on to let you know anything. Of course, after the Apple presentation, which is tomorrow afternoon, we come back to the Juniper Hotel, and then we have the Expo night. The Expo night, I plan on streaming for about an hour and a half. And that's all the vendors and things, and hundreds of people will be in this room. There'll be food and stuff. And I'll do some some short interviews there. I'll go around and talk to some of the vendors to give you guys, and as much as I can. My idea is to give you this virtual window into the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit as much as possible. Like I said, I'll pop on as much as I can. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, be notified. You can just check in there. When I'm live, the live stream should come right up to the top window. Go to youtube.com/RichardTaylorTV, and it should be right there. I don't know for sure, but it should be. Gert says, please send my greetings to Philip and Gregory. I certainly will. So we absolutely should be thankful for these events. I'm really glad I got to come to the last 3. This is my 3rd year. It's always pleasant to see everybody. As Philip says, this is the Final Cut Pro annual family reunion. It's exactly what it is. The only thing wrong this year is we don't have Armadillo Willie's right around the corner. So we're going to have to be more spread out at different places. I'm not sure where we're going to eat tonight. Like I said, once we get done eating, maybe I'll try to do a stream so you can talk to some people. It depends on the lighting, depends on the audio. Right now I have a lapel mic on, so the audio should be pretty good because audio is big. There was no audio fix in this, no audio update in this one, but audio is gigantic to me. That's my background. Audio is very, very important, clean audio. I mean, if I can't do it and I can just pop on the iPhone, I'll do that. But I'll try to do one more tonight. And I'll try to do one tomorrow morning, one mid-morning. If I can stream some of the presentations in the morning before noon, I will, depending on the lighting. I will do that because they're not training sessions. It's the training sessions that they're not going to be streaming and they're not recording. Those you have to be here in person in order to see them. The other things that are happening in the morning, I might be able to stream them, especially the introduction. I'll see. It depends on the lighting. If the lighting's bad, I can't. There's really no sense in doing it. But I'll certainly will be popping in and do some streaming. Even during the sessions, I might pop into a room for 5 minutes, let you see what it looks like, let you see the people that are there. My idea is to give you a virtual window into this event. That's what I'm going to try to do. So is there any more questions? I'm going to hop back off here. I just wanted to get on. I wanted to do one of these, let you know that I haven't forgotten about it. The last time they did this, which was 2016 when they released the Touch Bar MacBook Pro, it was the same scenario for me. I'm on an airplane. They make the announcement when I'm landing at San Francisco airport. I see the announcement on the shuttle. I take a shuttle from the airport to Cupertino, and that's when I see the announcement. They did the exact same thing this time. Thursday, they didn't announce it Friday morning. They announced it Thursday morning. So that's okay. It gives us 24 hours to start working through it and testing it out. Gert says Ripple Training has some previews of the new updates. Yes, they do. Like I said, there's 4 places that I know to go to get information. Ripple Training, of course, they have 4 or 5 videos up. LumaForge, Patrick Southern has done a quick overview of Final Cut Pro 10.4.4. FCP.co has an article out detailing some of the details. And there's one from, is it Guy Ritchie? I think it's Guy Ritchie from iMore, or used to be from iMore. It might be someplace else. He does an overview as well. I'm not sure. I know Ripple Training had this advanced. Obviously, they had to make tutorials, so they probably have a whole tutorial series up. But they have their updates. So there's 4 places that I know to go right now. Plus, on Twitter, I linked to the release notes. So you can go on my Twitter feed, Richard Taylor TV, and there's a link there for the release notes. So I'm going to hop off here. I'll see who's downstairs. If anybody's downstairs, like I said, I'll pop on here another time once I get some other people to talk to. And I sure appreciate you guys stopping in for a chat. If you have nothing else to say, I'll hang on for a minute. Gert has placed the Ripple training. It says message held for review. Rob Mills says, thanks. You're more than welcome. I'm glad I can do this for people. Before I started doing these live streams, these Final Cut Pro events were just, I never knew anything about them. Didn't know what was happening. I just had wait for news. I want to help everybody in the Final Cut Pro community get to experience as much as possible. Like I said, this is a virtual window for everybody to peer into what's happening at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. But if you want to chat more, go to if you belong on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/Final Cut Pro Radio. It's all one word. You can follow on Twitter, Richard Taylor TV, all one word, or FCP Radio 1, the number 1 on Twitter. Make comments there, whatever you'd like to do. I haven't even checked Twitter because I can't be checking everything and talking to everybody at the same time. But I'm going to hop off here for now. I just want to do this first one. I'm excited about the new features that we have. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you're in the UK, I know it's late. Thanks for tuning in there. Rob Mills is from there. And like I said, I'll try to talk to you again tonight. I'm going to pop back in, but I certainly will be in tomorrow before noon, once or twice, depending on how things are set up. So Gert says, have fun, stay out of the fire. The fire is nowhere near here. The smoke is what's coming down. But I can look outside right now. You don't see anything. I can see a blue sky. But when you walk outside, you can see a haze. So if you have sensitivity and you're coming to Cupertino, get some of those masks if you have them. What else is going on? I don't know. That's it. I'm going to get off here for now. And I will see everybody on the next broadcast. Richard Taylor, youtube.com, Richard Taylor TV, /Richard Taylor TV. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you in a bit.